Hi guys, and welcome to another batch of your replays. Today's theme is there is no theme. These are just two games I liked and I thought I could talk about and basically waffle while you guys watch them. But I like this one because it's a Centurion7 1 game, and I recently unlocked the final gun on the Centurion7 1, and I'm enjoying watching how you guys play this tank. I quite like the tank, but I haven't had any monster games in it yet, and I haven't played too many games with the final gun. But we are here on Sand River. It's an assault game, and we are with Tuisk, who is defending. It's a 56%er, so a pretty close game. But the reason I really like this game is not only is it in it a Centurion7 1, but it's also very similar to another game I brought you recently on the channel from Neolon Travels in her WZ132, who basically does pretty much the same thing in a scout, but this time we are looking at a medium tank. And basically Tuisk is going to be working this ridgeline, trying to get spots. The Centurion7 1 has very good view range. Can't remember exactly how much, but I think it could be as much as 410 meters view range. So he gets spotted, but pre-aims a beautiful shot on the T69 and then falls back, and now an AMX 1375 has come out of nowhere. And Tuisk is having problems getting his gun on target. Gets one shot into the AMX, and yeah, Centurion7 1 does have the same problem as a lot of other higher tier British tanks, and that is the ammo rack is in the front, and it got ammo racked. So Tuisk has had to use his repair kit to repair his ammo rack already, but cheeky play from that AMX 1375. Did about 500 damage to Tuisk. But in the meantime, Tuisk is going to be pushing up. And ST1 and IS below. Now it is a tier 9 game, but there are only 3 tier 9s on either side. So nice matchup for Tuisk. Bounces the ST1. The Centurion7 1 has quite a troll turret if you can manage to get it hull down. And enemy tanks are firing up at you. So Tuisk is continuing to work on this IS. Has the side of the turret and sneaks a beautiful shot in on the ST1 as it was reversing back down the slope. Manages to hit the commander's cupola in the side. So Tuisk is on 2k damage so far. And again, he's poking, he's looking for shots, he's hull down. And T25, 2 in the distance, no shots. But there are only just over 6.5 minutes. 6.5 minutes left of this game. I always forget, because I don't play assault games, that the timer is so short. But ST1 gets tracked in a really bad position, allowing Tuisk to get another shot in on the side of the turret. And again, he's giving the side of his turret and another lovely shot in. Now, the Centurion7 1's gun is very punchy. It has a lot of penetration. But its DPM is not so good. A lot of penetration, decent accuracy and aim time, but its reload time is not good at 10.12 seconds for Tuisk. But you can see 268 millimeters of penetration, very nice. Just as Tuisk puts in another nice shot on the T25-2, taking him up to 3k damage. So this tank is not about its DPM, it's all about its penetration. Unfortunately, bounces on the front of the ST1 as he was retreating down the slope. ST1 does manage to pen a shot. So Tuisk is down to half health. Decides to ignore the ST1, notices an IS is sneaking up from behind. But this is it's a very, very similar game to the game that Neon Travels played. Rushes that shot to try and get the IS before he could get into cover. But he is just holding this flank. Again with backup from tanks in H0, who are deciding to advance now. So lovely shot in the ST1, tracks him in place, leaves him on 12 health, takes him up to 3.5k damage. And the ST1 has turned to look the other way. Tuisk moves forward. No, ST1's looking back. Oh, unfortunately fails to pen the ST1 or misses, and the T25-2 gets another shot in and actually pens him. When you expose the hull on the Centurion7, even tanks that are 2 tiers below you can pen you. But the gun is accurate. You could see another very, very nice shot in on the T25-2, and now there's an IS-3 behind Tuisk. This is an ST1 poking and an IS-3 behind him. So he's down to 225 health. Looking for shots on this IS-3, gets some revenge, 473 damage, very, very nice. Takes him up to 4.3k damage. And he's going to continue to work on this IS-3, who seems to be ignoring him. Gets another shot in. That one rolls a lot lower. So only 3.5 minutes left of this game as a killing shot in the IS-3. Unfortunately, don't know where that shot went, or it may have penned and did very, very low damage. We're going to have to wait for the IS-3 to be respotted before we find out, but still a low health ST1 to his rear. An IS and an IS-3 to the front. Only 3 minutes left of this game. IS has been taken out. Only 3 enemy tanks left, and Tuisk knows where they all are. That IS-3 looks on very low health, so it's possible that blind shot did go in. So his team are... Oh, that sucks. I was going to say, his team were about to finish off the IS-3. Tuisk can turn around, deal with the ST-1, but unfortunately, ST-1 poked, was able to get a shot into the rear of Tuisk to kill him with just 1 tank left now on the enemy team. 2 minutes left on the clock. And in chat, Tuisk is saying, "Damn, I died!" Yeah, I'd be upset too with only 1 tank left on the enemy team. Now, Tuisk has had much bigger games in the Centurion Mark 7-1 than this one. I know, because I saw them on What Replays as I was looking for these end plates, but it was still a really good game, and I thought I would put it on the channel because it gave me something to talk about, which was that basically it's a very strong position on Sand River that Tuisk took up, and Neon Travels showed that in a recent replay on the channel as well. It doesn't matter if you're in a Scout or if you're in a Centurion Mark 7-1. That is just such a strong position when defending on assault. And the Centurion7 has really good view range and a punchy gun, and I really enjoyed putting some Centurion7 gameplay on the channel because I've only recently started playing this tank, and even more recently only started playing it with the final gun, so it was nice to get some footage. Tuisk picked up a high caliber and Confederate for that game. He finished second on XP with 989. Unfortunately didn't get any kills. I think if Tuisk had managed a couple of kills, he probably would have come first. But a big damage game, 5,094 and 989 XP is nothing to sneeze about. Tuisk fired 18, he hit 16, and he penned 13, which is probably a little bit unfortunate for the gun. The accuracy is good, as you can see, but the penetration is very good, and I think Tuisk got unlucky with a couple of his bounces. But he did do 5,094 damage, which is very good considering he only fired 13 shots. So it shows you that the alpha damage is nice on the tank. It also shows that when the tank goes hull down, it can be quite a tricky target, and he received 14 hits and managed to bounce 7. So the Centurion7 plays a lot like the Centurion. When you can get it hull down, it can be a very difficult tank to play play against. He spotted 3, that's that really, really good view range, damaged 6, and did 238 assistance damage. He earned 39,000 credits for that game with a premium account, and 1483 XP on a ×2, which left him just short of 3,000 XP. So thank you very much for sending that one in, Tuisk. Moving on, we've got Jack 1011 Edwards in his Hellcat. He's a tier 6 and a tier 6 game. Very close game, 59%er here on Pearl River. But Jack has sent in a couple of Hellcat replays recently, and I'm going to save the other one for a special occasion. This is still a really, really good game. And Jack's going to start by moving down the JK lines. He's platooned with CJC and Tanza. And this looks like this looks like one of my replays. That was a fail there. Jack was typing and decided to run into the side of the map. Yeah, could have been one of my replays with a little fail like that. So Jack's going to push up here. I'm gonna see if he can get some. No, whoop! Oh, no, no, no! That's definitely one of my replays. That is definitely one of my replays. I have no idea what Jack Edwards was doing there, but yep, really good start to the game so far. 63 damage done to himself. Just ran straight off the edge and did some major damage to his tracks. So Jack's continuing to advance. What's the next thing that's going to happen? So he's advancing. He's got... Who's in the Cromwell? He's got Tanza in the Cromwell. CJC's in the A43. And they finally moved up into position. So they're going to work on this VK. And Jack gets a nice shot in. Gets another nice shot in. Enemy Hellcats poking the ridge on top or ahead of him. But if you look at the mini-map, a lot of enemy tanks are now on the 9-0 lines. In fact, the enemy team have just won the 9-0 lines. A lot of friendlies are in the middle, but any tanks that went down the 9-0 lines are dead. There's a scout moving in on Jack 1011 Edwards Arty. Enemy team are just swarming in. There's a T-25 who somehow made it through the river. Stewart in their cap, and now there are heavy tanks coming down the 9-0 lines. But Jack focuses, gets a shot in on the Hellcat. And he's finally realized that, yeah, they're in trouble. Lots of enemy tanks behind them, so he's ignoring the tanks in front. He's going to turn around, he's going to hope that his friendlies can take them out, and they do. In the meantime, Tanza in his Cromwell and Jack are heading back. CJC's also heading back through the river in the A43, but the platoon are on their way back to defend. So CJC takes out a T-25 and a T-14 in quick succession in the middle. And Tanza and a friendly T-34-85 stop the cap. But there are still some nasty tanks down here, including the KV-1S, a Cromwell, a T-34-85. Jack's finally arrived on the corner. He's got a shot in the side of the turret of the KV-1S, but the shot goes high and to the left. CJC has died to an enemy KV-1S. And Jack is missing his shots. He's decided to relocate. 2 KV-1Ss are now spotted in the middle. And Jack has relocated. Yes, he's going to have shots. So relocating has now given him shots on the KV-1S. Jack's up to 1,000 damage, no kills. Second KV-1S has now been spotted. Jack's going for the lower glacis. Gets a nice shot in, 245 damage. Takes another 200 damage on the KV-1S. But there are 3 enemy tanks left. I was going to say 3 enemy tanks left. Now there are 2 enemy tanks left versus Tonza and Jack Edwards. But Jack takes out the KV-1S. Then he takes out the Cromwell for kill number 2. So enemy KV-1S left versus Tonza in his Cromwell and Jack in his Hellcat. But in the meantime, most of the tanks that went to the enemy cap are now dead. The KV-1S takes out Tonza. And Jack 1011 Edwards manages to bounce on the side of the KV-1S. Reloads, takes the KV-1S out for kill number 3. But now it is 2 versus 1. 2 enemy tanks left, a enemy T-3485 and a VK3002M versus Jack. Now Jack does still have most of his hit points left. The only damage he's taken was the damage he did to himself from that drop. But he's sitting in the open. He's trusting in his view range to spot the 2 enemy tanks before they spot him. He does have binocs and a camo net. And he's asking in chat how much health the enemy tanks are on. So his friendly Leopard tells him that the T-3485 is on full health. And that the VK is on about 20%. So potentially a one-hit kill if Jack rolls high. So Jack was not spotting anything. Both enemy tanks were last spotted near the enemy cap, and it's possible they're coming down the 1-2 lines or through the river. So Jack has decided he's going to relocate. And he's going to set up an ambush. But 2 versus 1. Situations like this, I don't know about you guys, but situations like this always get my adrenaline pumping. So he let his binocs kick in, didn't spot anything, decides to move down behind the rocks, and spots the VK advancing across the middle. So the VK is on quite a lot of health. That looks a lot more than 20% to me. Jack does put in a shot. Does 278 damage, and the VK is a one-hit kill if Jack rolls incredibly high, but he needs to get pretty much a maximum roll. And he has been spotted. The VK knows he's here. So if the VK is clever, he'll just sit there and wait for backup from the other tank, the T-3485. And both of these players have kills. T-3485 is indeed moving up. And Jack gets a nice shot in and then sits in the open. Thankfully, the VK fires and misses. So Jack's able to pop out, get a shot in. The VK is got to reload quick enough to get a shot in on Jack. But the T-3485, enemy T-3485 is capping. Jack's got a choice. He can go for the VK or he can try and get a spot on this T-3485. Decides to pop out, spot the T-34, gets a shot in. And then reverses. VK misses. Jack is reloaded. He pulls out. Takes a snapshot. Kills the VK. That was quite poor play by the VK there, unfortunately. And the T-3485 decides to leave the cap. So Jack is poked. And he's been spotted. And, well, his sixth sense didn't go off. That was a blind shot. That was a very good blind shot by the T-3485. Because Jack has not been spotted. That was a blind shot in on the bush that he was hiding behind. So it is now 14-14. Both of these tanks are potentially one-hit kills. Jack decides to fall back. Nope, he doesn't. He decides to advance. He's going to let his binocs kick in. Not spotting anything. There's a little bit of side scraping. No sign of the T-3485. Oh, now there is. And again, that was quite poor play by the T-3485. Advancing, Jack gets the kill and secures the game. So quite a tense little ending to that particular game, but it meant that Jack was able to secure victory with an ace tanker and a high caliber. He finished top on XP with 1194, 2,979 damage and 5 kills. Really nice little Hellcat game. He fired 19, hit 16 and penned 15, so decent performance from the gun. He damaged 7, destroyed 5, did 125 assistance damage and managed 31 base defense points. Because he fired a little bit of premium at the end when it was clutch, he ended up only making 6,000 credits, but still I probably would have fired premium ammo in that situation as well, especially when it is 2 versus 1 and you do not want to bounce or miss your shots. 1791 XP with a premium account. It wasn't his first game of the day, but it was still a really nice victory and well played at the end there. So I'd like to thank Jack 1011 Edwards and Tuisk for sending those 2 replays in. It's always nice to get replays I can just waffle on about. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.